Yes, hi folks, it's Tim, also known as Faceless Fat Loss. I will segue into the panic attack information in just a moment here. Subscribers to my channel know that I have to show my physique every 3 or 4 months since I have a fat loss program and need to show the results of it. So this is sort of a progress report of what I do over at facelessfatloss.com and soon over40andripped.com. The latter should be up in 1 or 2 months at most. And I use a newspaper here to timestamp it. And did you see that Wimbledon match? Any of you tennis fans out there? Federer took the title yet again. Very exciting stuff. So, on to the topic of panic attacks. I'm really surprised it has taken me this long to address this topic, since you're listening to someone who has suffered from them horribly for most of his life. That they were completely debilitating, taking from me any chance I had of any kind of real scholastic career. I barely made it through high school. I was truant all the time because of the panic attacks, so college, of course, was not an option at all. And as well, my relationships suffered in all kinds of ways. My panic attacks started when I was a kid, back before anyone knew much about them, and would always manifest as that non-reality sensation. They were not predictable or situational. There weren't really any circumstances specifically that would cause them to distress for the most part. They were more just very on-the-spot, unpredictable, boom, I feel like I'm in a living nightmare, foggy-headed, and just panicking all out. Just a horrible, horrible sensation, and I know a lot of you will know what that's all about. So, on a few occasions, they nearly drove me to suicide, and doctors were, of course, completely useless, as were about 5 different antidepressants, those of which also brought me to near suicide, just a raging mess for a long time. I tried everything that was available to me at the time, but it wasn't until after I became very ill back in 2005 and started really expanding my knowledge about the nature of health and well-being that I was finally able to begin to find answers not only to my illness at the time, which doctors were also useless for, but also to the panic attacks. And this was a huge revelation for me, to the point of basically complete resolution of the problem, and for a solid 5 years now. What finally drove me to produce this video was one of my program participants who was asking me about trying niacinamide, a niacin derivative, which you've heard me discuss in another video, for his current panic attacks, having read that it might be able to help him with panic. An interesting side benefit of using niacinamide is that it is an excellent and powerful anti-candida vitamin. And I will try to include a link about a 2010 study in the text field, or you can search for it, as they discovered that niacinamide can disable candida very readily by interfering with its ability to form biofilms and messing with its reproduction and its DNA. Powerful stuff here. And it's so darn inexpensive as well. So I will provide more info in the text field regarding my overall anti-candida approach, which many of you know is a huge focus of what I do with the fat loss stuff, and is of course a huge focus with the overall health first approach that I have. And my anti-candida approach is completely free over at maintenancemotions.com. That's maintenancemotions.com. And I really feel very strongly, having been through hell with this stuff, that my free anti-candida info over at Maintenance Motions is far better than any paid anti-candida program out there. I lay out multiple approaches that are extremely effective and explain the science behind what works and why, including a link in those materials showing you where you can get clean niacinamide from, free of magnesium stearates, which is also commonly used in the manufacture of isolated vitamins that I and other researchers feel may be a problem for our intestines and potential other issues. So if it helps you to know, there's a doctor out on the West Coast who specializes in panic attacks and uses as his sole focus an anti-candida approach, and he has a huge success rate with it. So I hope you'll check out that free information that I provided. It helped me tremendously. I can confidently say I am near 100% quote cured. It's absolutely amazing what happened once I took on an anti-pathogen approach with a focus on an antifungal, anti-candida approach, and how it basically completely resolved my panic attack syndrome. So go over to maintenancemotions.com and check out the guide I have over there. And if you need it to lose fat and get fit, check out facelessfatloss.com, and soon Over 40 and Ripped for the Over 40 crowd. Thanks so much for watching. Love, happiness, health, and peace.